So, hi guys, we're here again for a video, and I want to say sorry for taking so long, but I had an idea I wanted to do or start doing, and so I had to wait until the month was nearly over. So basically, what I want to start doing is a monthly video called Monthly Films, and what I want to do in these videos is talk to you guys about the films I've seen throughout the month, seen or rewatched. So today I have 4 films to talk to you guys about, and I think it's going to be pretty obvious that I have a problem in that I go to the cinema quite too much, I think. Well, I used to go more, but now I don't so much, sadly, because it's gotten really expensive and it sucks. So before I start, I want to say that I'm going to try and not give any spoilers on anything because I hate spoilers. So yeah, if you guys want to talk to me about something specific, we can do that through Tumblr or anything. And if you guys have any suggestions on films I should watch or re-watch and talk about, I am open to suggestions. So please contact me. Okay, so it's my 3rd try making this video. I'm starting to think people are against me, or machines, or technology. So I'm going to start with the first film I went to see this year. The first film I saw in the cinemas this year was Frozen. It was Frozen. I went to see it with my sister, which made everything perfect. And I have to say, we watched it in Portuguese, by the way, because we always do. It's like, as much as I know English, my sister is still learning, and I do not exchange. I can't just watch films in English knowing that's Portuguese, because that's how I grew up. So yeah, I mean, I know Let It Go in English and I know Let It Go in Portuguese, and they're both great. That was my favorite song of the film, by the way. But yeah, the curious thing about me and my sister is that we are 10 years apart, and curiously, I am much more sensitive and emotional than my sister, which means that I cry in films and she doesn't. It happens. And what happened actually was very curious. Was that she immediately related more to Hannah, and I immediately related more to Elsa, which is great. And curious because, well, I've never really touched snow, but if I could have any powers that would have to do with elements, I would choose always like water or ice or something related to the water element. I wouldn't go for anything else. And I have to say that Let It Go really touched my heart. I really related to it in a way, and I loved it. And I mean, I know people really talk about Olaf in the film, and yes, he's very funny, but Kristoff really blew my mind. I loved him as a character, and I love the way the characters were designed. I think he was so well thought, and he was great. If you guys haven't seen it yet, please go and see it. Please. Okay, so after Frozen, the Oscars started, the films started premiering here, and so far I've only been able to see 2, and I'm going to talk about Dallas Buyers Club first. Well, I watched it because I was curious about Matthew McConaughey's and Jared Leto's performances, because they've been getting a lot of awards. So I was like, wait, I want to see this, I'm curious. And they're definitely worth it. Those guys, they stepped it up the notch, and for me it's very special to see Jared Leto growing as both a singer and an actor. I've been his fan for years, for like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, for a long time, and he's a very special very special idol for me. He's been there for me for a long time, his songs and his films, and seeing him grow is amazing. I get so proud. And if you guys haven't seen Dallas Buyers Club yet, I would definitely recommend it. I mean, their performances are great, and they have Jennifer Gardner as well, and she is amazing as always. She's great, and the film is great. I don't think the trailer pays much to it. I think the film is better than what the trailer might lead you to think. At least in my case, it was this way. Now, the two films I have like to talk about really, they wowed me completely. I mean, first we have 12 Years a Slave, and I'm trying not to ramble here, but I'm really a great fan of Steve McQueen, and through him I became a fan of Michael Fassbender, because I think it's great when a director brings out the best of an actor, and Michael Fassbender, he's great. I love him. I mean, he intimidates me to I'm afraid of him sometimes. He's very physically menacing, but I love him for it. I mean, he can scare me just with his eyes, and I think that's impressive. That is mind blowing. And well, not to mention on the performances in the film. I mean, we have Benedict Cumberbatch. He was great. Benny was great, and Chiwetel was absolutely fantastic. I mean, he's a good runner for an Oscar, and I'm dying to see him do more films after this, now that he's getting more popular and all that. And then I have to pay tribute and do this to Lupita. I mean, for her first role in a film, she was fantastic. She was so strong in a way, and so powerful and so intense. And if you guys see the film or have seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. I can't say it, but it was so intense. And that's the thing about Steve McQueen's films for me. They're so crude. They show you things that you're not prepared to. You see his films. What I felt about 12 Years a Slave, especially compared to Shame or Hunger, was that I was watching the film without a safety net. And once it was over and I was crying, I felt like I had been punched in the stomach, but not, not like violently in the way that they wanted to hurt me, but in the way that it was so intense for me. I felt it so much that I was so affected by it. I was very affected. Well, I'm always affected when slavery is the main subject or theme of something. I'm usually very affected because I feel a lot of empathy, and I cannot understand how we as a race can turn against each other just because someone's skin color is different. But that's another subject. So this film was so crude. It showed the cruelty that someone is able to reach, that I cried, and but I loved it. I was just like, oh my God, it was amazing, and the soundtrack was really good too. I'm trying not to cry. God, Patty, don't cry. But yeah, if you guys haven't seen 12 Years a Slave, be prepared for anything. If you've seen Steve McQueen, you probably know what I'm talking about. But it's going to be intense, so be prepared. It's going to be very, very realistic. And the last film I want to talk to you guys about is a film I saw yesterday, actually, which was The Book Thief. And I have a terrible habit. I see films first before reading the books. I shouldn't do that, I know, but I don't have time for everything. So I didn't read the book, and I saw the film yesterday, and I think I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for the ending. The film was going well. I loved the idea of death speaking to us. I loved it. I loved the fact that Geoffrey Rush was there. Geoffrey. I loved the idea he was there. He's one of my favorite actors of all time. He is great all the time. It was fantastic, But then, as I got more attached to the characters, not just Liesel, but Max and Rudy and all these other characters, Suddenly, I realized, wait, you can't forget about historical context. And bam, everything happened, and the ending was very sad. I cried a lot, but I think it's beautifully done. The everything about the film, not just the soundtrack, but the images and the way it's filmed and the characters and how the how important the context is in terms of history, but it doesn't really overshadow the story. Story is important, and then the historical context will obviously affect it in a way that I wasn't really expecting. And I have to say, I thought they picked a really cute actor to play Max. He was really cute. But I liked Max a lot. I actually did. And I think the film is amazing. If you guys are thinking about seeing it, please go and see it. If you have read the book, friends who went with me said the adaptation was really well done, so I'm going to believe them. And it's all for this film of the month today. Yay! So guys, if you have any suggestions for films I should watch, rewatch, whatever, please tell me and I will do my best to see them and talk to them at the end of February. I hope you're all well. I missed you guys, and please feel free to come and talk to me, comment on this, share it, like it, or send me messages. I'd like to talk to you guys. Do it, okay? Hope you're all well. Love you very much. Take a big kiss and see you at the end of February.